Hi, I'm Samuel. I'm back with video 5 of 12 in my series on successful marriages and families, the book about proclamation principles and research perspectives. And I promised in my first video that I wouldn't follow every chapter, and this is where I'm keeping that promise. I'm jumping to chapter 7. And this is the name of the chapter is The Warm and Happy Marriage, Cold Hard Facts to Consider. And it is a wonderful chapter. It contains a lot of facts that will reinforce the importance of marriage. And actually, like at the beginning, it talks about where people get that marriage is undesirable. A lot of times comes from the entertainment we can consume, from celebrities, right? They look at celebrities and how many of those marriages end in misery and nasty divorces where it's spread out and all this money and chaos and kids and child support, and it just sounds like a nightmare. So that's where a lot of the misconception comes from. And it also talks about some of the other options that people use, like cohabitation, and how people believe that's a good idea. It actually uses the term to test drive. Like, it doesn't make sense to test drive and live with someone to figure out if you're compatible. Well, first of all, there's a lot of problems with that. One being you're not living in the way Heavenly Father wants you to live with someone that you should love and potentially have children with. But also, it takes away the commitment aspect. When you're married to someone, you're then committed to that person. And as a guy who's been married for 10 years, I can tell you, it has not always been easy. But I am so much of who I am today is because of my wonderful wife. Because of the 10 years of experiences that we've had together, and from my own shortcomings and learning how to be a better person. It's all because of marriage. And so this whole chapter talks about the importance of keeping that, and it shares a lot of statistics. And off the top of my head, the one that stood out to me most was that children raised in a home with just a single mom. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that have done this scenario, and it's turned out really well. However, the research that was conducted for this chapter speaks about the possibility of really negative aspects, such as you're 20% more likely to end up in prison if you don't have a father in the home. Now, that's a fact that is shared in this chapter. There's things like that that make it so important that you're committed to one another, that you understand that so much is at stake, and so many important things that come from marriage. And it isn't always end in tragedy or divorce like you see on TV or in movies. Loving, lasting relationships do happen. And it also talks about the statistics of the health and benefits of being married, how people live longer, how people are happier with their life, how they're more fulfilled, and it all comes from the decision of being married and being in a happy marriage. And I know for myself in these 10 years, like I said, it hasn't always been easy, but boy, has it been wonderful. And I would not change these 10 years for anything. And I'm so grateful for a companion that understands the importance of marriage and how we honor it. Thank you.